Nick Deck, how are you, sir?
Really good, man. Really good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So Nick, you are an MSP marketing person. Well, you run Heroes of Marketing. You're the CEO, lead advisor, and I see that you've been helping MSPs with marketing for like a decade.
Yeah, I have a pretty a pretty elite team of marketers that in the last couple of years we've been focusing exclusively on MSPs, and I spent the last it's got to be over a decade now working with MSPs and other professional service businesses, and in the last couple of years, since about 2018, we've been exclusively working with MSPs and helping them understand how to market their unique businesses.
That's fantastic, man. So with you working with strictly MSPs now, I've got to ask, like, what are you seeing that works?
That's honestly the same things, the same core principles and the strategies behind marketing and MSP before COVID, before all that, they still hold true today. So what we're seeing is that most MSPs and most businesses in general, to be honest, they come to the table and they kind of, when they try marketing, they sort of shout at people, "Hey, look at me, buy my service." And people are so deaf to that stuff now. Like, people don't care about how good you are if that's all you're telling them. So one of the key differentiators between what we do and what a lot of other agencies do is that we really help work with the MSPs and with leadership to help develop an understanding of what they can do differently, what they can offer people that we can then promote to reach people earlier on in their buyer's journey, earlier on in their decision making process. So that's the big one. Like, reaching people before they understand they have a problem is huge. Because there's only a small segment of the market that understands, I need an MSP, I need IT support, I need this vendor to help me. There's a very small segment. If you can branch out into the middle and the top of the funnel, where you can cast this wide net, then you have an opportunity to reach them earlier on, before they've got this sales guard up, and before they've got, before they're deaf to that sort of messaging, and you get a chance to build a relationship and establish trust and get people to like you. And, it helps people just kind of glide through the sales process. It's not such a hard sell.
So I'm gonna share my screen here, because I've got to say, I'm really impressed by your website.
Thank you.
I'm going to reload this because I want everyone to see the beauty and all of the animations that you guys have going on here. And me being a website nerd, I want to look at the page source because I'm dying to know what it was built with.
I can tell you, but you can figure that out.
I see you're hosting it on SiteGround. I see you're using Elementor. It's exactly what my stack looks like.
Cool. Yeah.
It's a sharp, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Our website is basically just it tells our story about who we are and what we do, and it sums it all up. We don't dive real deep into, we don't use it as a sales tool as much. We just want people to know, like, what they're getting when they contact us. And, a big part of what I was just talking about is a big part of what's represented there on the website. It's all about helping people earlier on in their decision-making process. So, we like the storytelling of a good website.
So yeah, this is honestly, man, this is fantastic looking. I'm all about the storytelling experience on websites, and honestly, for marketing in general, I think that when you get to tell a story, you're doing something engaging with people.
Absolutely.
And I even like that your menu, it's like weird looking, but in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, you still know what it is, but it's still a little different.
Everything's a little funky on the site. Like there's some stuff that is a little like the guarantee where that pops in when you scroll past that. It's a little obnoxious. It comes in and it shakes in front of you. It only does it on the first load, but but it gets your attention and it's effective. So we want people to know that we guarantee our work. I mean, if you offer something like that, that should be one of the top things they take away from your website. And it's a strong message, even if you have to shake it out in front of them and make sure that they catch that as they're scrolling by.
That's really cool, man. So what does a marketing, I'm going to call it a marketing campaign, the entire engagement that is Heroes of Marketing. What does this look like when we start working with you guys? So
really it's not all that different to what an MSP does for their clients. So we're essentially, you pay a set rate. When we go through our sales process, we identify what you want to accomplish, what it's going to take to get you there, and we sort of prescribe a game plan, a strategy for you, and then we sign you up for a set fee every month that you can build into, like a predictable cost you can build into your budget. That gets you a certain amount of work every month, and it's for us, it's not a billable hours thing. It's built based on value. It's a point system, and so but you get basically all of your marketing needs met based on the unique requirements of your business and the unique goals that we discuss during the sales process and in the onboarding process. So, we're a full scope marketing team. So we do it all, but really what we focus on early on is building out these funnels that help promote our clients' offers. And these offers are what we were talking about earlier, where you're really coming up with something of incredible value. The typical MSP offer is some sort of through a 30-minute IT consultation, something that really isn't, it's kind of boring, not very sexy, not very intriguing. And if you promote that, you might get the occasional person taking action on that and the occasional conversation started. But we come up with people, we work with people to come up with offers that are of insane value, incredible value, really, really highly engaging, highly enticing offers. So that people get a ton of upfront value and they get something tangible, something awesome during that process. They have a compelling reason to take action on an advertisement or on a sales page or something like that, and give you their information and schedule some time with you. And then, we work on the rest of that. So because we're not strictly bottom of the funnel, we're reaching people before they might be completely ready to make a purchase decision, a buying decision. So we work on all the nurture that helps them understand the value of working with your company and all the reasons that they need to be engaged with your business, and everything that we do after your offer is delivered points back toward a sales conversation, but in a way that's constructive and helpful. Not so much like buy our stuff now.
That's really cool, man. So with what you guys are doing, are you finding that there is a particular medium that works best, whether it's web, social?
Yeah. So we've got different channels for different stages in the funnel. So like they're in different activities, different initiatives. We find that social is really good for reaching people earlier on. Like if you're at the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, social gives us a platform to have a compelling ad with a decent amount of copy and a nice visual, and get somebody engaged and click them through to a sales page and get them engaged earlier on. And then we back all that up. We have sort of a safety net, if you will, at the bottom of the funnel, and that's for all the people that are actively looking for IT services. So we've got, you just got to use different platforms based on how how and when you can reach people most effectively. So, Facebook and LinkedIn are great social platforms. There's a lot of, you can get a lot of engagement going on Facebook. You can target really, really specific niches. Like we have a client that worked with, biomedical testing, something it's difficult to get real specific thing on Facebook, but like LinkedIn provides you with that sort of stuff and in their targeting. So you just, it's all about understanding how to use each platform most effectively, because they all work synergistically. They all work you can use them as a part of one cohesive machine, but just understanding which parts to use when is the key there.
I like it. So, sorry for the cat. She's very needy this afternoon.
I'm an animal lover, man. I got 3 dogs and a house full of animals growing up. So
that's awesome. I love this cat. She's very much like a dog. She hates cats. She loves dogs. She likes to play fetch. She's like a lap kitty. So as you see, she's like, please just pet me more. You're not petting me. She's like, you're not petting me good enough. Here's my butthole. Yeah. This is literally what she's doing to me right now. So, all right. So when you say you're building funnels, would you say that you're building more than one funnel for a particular client?
Absolutely. So I actually have a diagram, kind of what it looks like, and I can share that if that's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me pull that up really quickly. So yeah, we're building out multiple funnels. So like we build out funnels that are focused on where we go vertical specific. And, because it's so much easier to connect with an audience if you're speaking their language, if you're speaking to their pain points. If you go general small business, it's difficult to speak to a lawyer who understands the impact that they're saving, the cost benefits of saving, 3 billable hours per attorney per day or something like that. You can speak to a lawyer much differently and much more effectively than you can to a general small business. You can speak to a private practice doctor or an accountant, a CPA, same way. Let me see here. I'm just pulling this up here. I should have this prepped, but this one of these. Man.
So while you're looking that up, I had a really great conversation with someone earlier. This is my second podcast recording today, and the conversation we had earlier is I asked kind of the devil's advocate question. Do you think that we as MSPs are providing a mission critical service to businesses? And they, of course, said yes. And then I said, so why don't we get to bill hours at prices like, what attorneys and CPAs get to charge? Because I know some attorneys, they're charging, $400, $600 and substantially more per hour for, the senior attorney or, managing partner or whatever fancy title they want to give themselves, So, what about you guys? Your website looks like you've got, $600 an hour kind of rates. So are you charging a premium because you know that what you guys are providing is worth it?
So yes and no. We have I came from a background where because I worked in a couple agencies before this, and they were really sophisticated agencies, top level, but they were charging an arm and a leg for stuff that, the cost benefit was just, it wasn't there as far as we could see. I didn't feel like it was fair. We were being sort of forced to sell really high ticket marketing or high cost programs for what I didn't see that it lined up for people. So my mission was to provide certainly a greater level of value for the cost that people are paying. So one thing that I really enjoy about working with MSPs is that I work with a lot of MSP owners that are doing, they're still kind of running the show, and I work with a lot of CEOs of, I want to call them small MSPs, but $1 million businesses. Whereas like I have 7 and 8 figure clients, but I work with a lot of smaller guys who it really has an impact on their business. Like if we can help them grow double the size of their business, they can hire more people, they can actually enjoy the business that they build, they can step out of it a little bit more, focus on operations instead of like putting out fires and just holding it all together. I don't have a great way of describing our sales process but we sort of prescribe the need. We prescribe based on the need of the client. So like if a small guy comes to me and I just want to help them out, we can put together a really nice and affordable program for them. If an 8-figure like larger MSP comes to us and they just want a full service agency to do every single thing that they want, we can put together a program like that for them. If we want, if the small guy asks for a branded letterhead or something silly like that, that's not going to impact their revenue, I'm going to tell them no. But if the big guys tell us like, hey, I need you to do a birthday card for my kids or birthday invitation for my kid's birthday party, I'm going to say, go for it. Like we're doing all the stuff that's impacting your lead sales and revenue. And we can take that on as well. It's not going to impact our ability to perform for you. So, that's the long way of saying it. We can absolutely help the smaller guys. I mean, there's certainly a level that's too small. They just, it's tough for these guys to afford a few $1,000s in marketing each month, but we can do it all. We can do a lot for people.
So it sounds like you kind of alluded to your pricing. Sounds like it's a few $1,000s a month to work with you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be around, on this. It depends on how quickly you want to get there too. If you want to get operational in 30 days and have your funnel built out and your ads running, it's going to cost a few $1,000s. If you don't mind waiting a couple of months to get that built out and to do the optimizations more slowly and sort of build the pieces onto the machine more slowly, it's going to be, we can work with you. But for the most part, if there are companies that will approach us that are too small, I teach people how to do it themselves. Like I wrote a book on this. If people are willing to put in the work, I hand them off the book and they go and do everything. They can go and do everything that we do for clients on their own. Like I spell it out. It's 200 pages. Like it's spelled it out line by line.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So
is this a book I can get on Amazon or something? Where do I go, man?
Like I haven't promoted it except for in my own funnel. So I do need to go put it on Amazon. That's something that one of my marketing mentors has demanded of me, and I haven't done yet. It's one of those things like the cobbler's kids get no shoes. It just, our business marketing, our business has been fortunate enough to have a steady stream of leads and clients and prospects coming towards us, coming at us since we've been operating. And so I haven't dedicated a ton of time to those little things, but I can absolutely get anybody a copy of the book that wants it. That's what it's for. It's for all the people that need it and can't afford to hire somebody else to do it.
I would. I'm putting my email in the chat here just in case you didn't have it. I'd love a copy of it, man.
Absolutely. Just
because I think it would be neat to see, what are Nick's secrets. We want the secret sauce.
Absolutely, man.
And I think it's fair to say, just about any service, including IT stuff, these aren't things that are maybe not necessarily all the IT things, but you know what I mean? Like these aren't rocket science. If someone's willing to put in the time and effort into not only learning it, but then doing it, anyone can figure out how to do this kind of stuff. And this, the way you've got this laid out, it almost looks like Infusionsoft with all the arrows going different directions and everything.
Everybody's got a version of funnel mapping these days. This is a product called Funnelytics. I mean, there's Guru and I think Soho even has their own funnel mapping software now. So this is one of the options. This is just an example of our funnel. Like everybody that we work with gets a variation of this. But basically we've got some sort of I'm gonna run through this with a security example, because I think that's pretty ubiquitous. Everybody's got a security offering as a part of their program. But basically, we help people create multiple offers for multiple stages of the funnel. The first one is very low barrier to entry. Like what we would recommend is something like a security training deck. It's a slide deck where people can download it and present it to their team, and they can get end users trained up on best practices to avoid, fraudulent emails, mostly like that. There's password strengthening, things like that, like basic things that are going to save them if their team can. You guys know I'm preaching to the choir here, but it's an end user training deck, and so people we promote that with usually it's social ads. They get to a sales page here. Let me annotate so you can see where I'm pointing.
I see the mouse.
Okay. So they get to a sales page here. If they don't opt in, if they're show interest and they don't opt in, they're retargeted on both Google and Facebook. So we're promoting it largely on Facebook there. If they do opt in, immediately they get an option to have offer number 2. Often that is it depends on the resources of the company. Often that could be having one of the techs come out and do the training for the business. The whole point is to get boots on the ground, like face-to-face conversation started, get the relationship established. So you're showcasing your expertise, you're building that relationship with a potential client. But often that's that could be a free training. This could also be some sort of security guide, for example, and this could be a consultation to help them, like a legitimate 60 to 90-minute consultation to help them improve their security process. It could also be a lot of guys are doing risk assessments and security audits and things like that, and not necessarily promoting them as a part of a funnel. They're just, but it's a good offer. And then you do a consultation around what people can be doing, what action they can be taking to remedy those issues. We also have, so if they don't take action on that second offer, if they only want the downloadable, the low barrier to entry offer, then they just head to a thank you page, and that's where they get an email, and they get their slide deck or their downloadable, and then we send that automatically enters them into a series of emails, as well as prompts us to retarget them to get back to this offer. Ultimately, the goal here is to have this second offer, because that's the offer where you get some face-to-face time, you get the conversation started, you get some, you get access to the people who are going to begin to know, like, and trust you, which is really the basis of them buying from you. If they do opt in when they do opt in from that second offer, then they actually get sent an application, because this is our disqualification process. Obviously, you don't want, a lot of these bigger shops don't want mom and pop shops taking part in a resource intensive offer like this. So you send them a quick application. It's friendly, high level business information, but it gives you enough to understand the needs of the company, as well as qualify whether or not they're a good fit for yours. If they're unqualified, what we'll do in that is usually package up an email with some content, some recommendations for another vendor, just like a nice friendly out. If they are qualified, that's when you actually schedule your training, your in-person training, your consulting, whatever that second offer is. And then after that, that's really not a position for a sales conversation. That's because we promote that as something that's just about providing value. After that, that's when you get the chance to if you're at the scale where you have an in-house salesperson, or you are the salesperson, that's where you enter into like a manual follow-up process, where you're going over the items that you've uncovered in your audit, or the just security best practices that you notice that they had not implemented, things that that they need help with, and following up as a part of your sales process. They also get a series of emails that is covering sort of the same thing. And then in the last year, we started testing direct mail to sort of to support that process. And at scale, direct mail is not very cost effective because it's just a blanket targeting. You're just hitting everybody with. But if you have a really targeted piece of direct mail, and you're just sending out a few, one or two pieces to a single company and just readdressing it, then it becomes a really effective. It's a physical, tangible reminder of their time with you. And this is when you can start adding things in, like your we can go into detail about the direct mail part, but there's you can do case study packets and testimonial, or like all sorts of cool stuff here. But everything's pointing towards a sales conversation, and that's the reason that we do funnels like this, is because everybody starts with have a sales conversation with us. And there's only a handful of people at any given time that are ready to have that sales conversation. Whereas there are a ton of people who don't yet know they have a problem. They have a problem. They don't let you know they have a problem, and need to be sort of shown they have a problem, and then need to also be building trust with the solution to that problem, the provider of the solution to that problem along the way. So this is the long play. Like I said, we back it up with Google AdWords and things like that and we do bottom of the funnel Facebook ads and things like that are specifically targeting people who are searching for IT support and managed services and things like that, like the obvious keywords. But this is what's going to open that. This is AdWords and really specific keywords down here. The rest of the funnel opens it up here. So you've got this big wide net you can cast and reach a lot more businesses, a lot more people who way earlier in their buyer's journey and their buying process.
One thing that I find really frustrating with AdWords is we as MSPs, we know what this stuff's called. So, we want to put like keywords in or key phrases like managed services, Cleveland, Ohio. But like, what are people really searching for? Because I know it's not BDR or managed BDR or, like how do we know what people are actually looking for?
So there are like, we have sort of running lists of like keywords that are more in lay terms. You've got the managed services understanding of what the problem and solution are, and then you've got to just put yourself in the perspective of the person who's making the search. Search intent is everything in organic, like in SEO and in paid search. If there's a lot of people who write content for search terms that don't directly relate to their business. Same goes for AdWords. They think that because if they throw the keyword in there, it's going to get clicks and it's going to drive traffic to their ads or their landing pages, things like that. But you have to understand why somebody would be searching for that. You have to understand what people are actually searching for, and why people are searching for it. Because if you're not the solution to the problem they're trying to fix, you're just wasting money. And I think that's something that we see a lot. People have a ton of keywords and they're getting a lot of clicks, but their clicks aren't resulting in driving calls. They're not booking sales conversations. So that's the big problem, is just understanding, putting yourself in their shoes and understanding what they're actually trying to solve.
All right. So I want to go back to the thing that you're using, Funnelytics.
Yeah.
So that's not, is that by ClickFunnels?
No, this is a separate, Funnelytics is a separate entity. ClickFunnels, I'm sure they have a funnel mapping tool. But everybody's doing funnel mapping today. It's just a part, if you've got like if you've got an online operations suite that you do, there's a lot of options like this there. But ClickFunnels is an option for building funnels. I think that a lot of people get stuck on thinking that it's the only option for building funnels.
I gotta say, man, ClickFunnels, I signed up for it for a while, and I absolutely did not like it.
Yeah, it's like any. It's
too restrictive. I'm an Elementor guy, so I mean,
if you can go out and build a WordPress funnel, you're gonna have so much more freedom.
Right.
Well, ClickFunnels is for somebody who needs to get funnels up. They don't really have a designer development background, and they just can write their copy into and lightly modify the design of their page. And I'm speaking in generalization here because there are people who do full design and development for their ClickFunnels pages. But I see the benefit in ClickFunnels, and for somebody who wants to build out a funnel like this on their own and doesn't have design resources, development resources, copywriting resources, they kind of have to do all those things themselves. ClickFunnels is a good platform for them. They pay $100 a month and they get tools that are going to help them get all this stuff online and fairly quickly and make adjustments fairly quickly. If there's somebody like you who can go and do all that stuff themselves, or somebody who, like me, who has a team who can do all this stuff, it's, we tend to, we're technology agnostic, but we tend not to use ClickFunnels because we don't need that sort of resource.
Sure. All right. So, but Funnelytics, you keep saying funnel mapping. So, I see something like that, and I guess I assume just by looking at it, it's also doing the stuff for me. So I assume when I see that, are you able to put that back up?
Yeah.
The image that you had up. So, cause I saw you had emails in there. So I assume it's, developing the email, I'm using Funnelytics to build the email, make it look pretty and then send it to people. And I guess I don't understand why we would use something like Funnelytics when we could go sign up for a tool like Drip or one of these other ones where you actually get to build, and it feels like you're building with a visual funnel thing just like this, but it's also doing the stuff.
And that's a good point. So we typically, in order to do all of these things, it's multi-platform. Most of this is done in our CRM or the client CRM. So we have clients that use HubSpot. We have, Infusionsoft or Marketo. Some of those full marketing automation suites. Those you can do all of that, and this is just a visual representation of that. One of the benefits of Funnelytics and some of the other funnel mapping softwares is that you get to plug everything in and put in your predictions for the different variables that impact outcomes for the funnel. Traffic and clicks and conversions and email opens and different things like that. So you can predict the outcome of a funnel as you build it out, and it just helps you plan out your strategy before you have to build a funnel and make adjustments and see the weak points in your funnel, the strong points in your funnel. So that's one of the benefits of a system like this. It helps you visually map it out too, which is really hard for clients to understand. Like if I didn't show people this, it's just a lot of words and there's no visual representation. And for anybody who's a visual learner, this helps immensely. This is just a basic template for us. Every campaign that we build, for example, every funnel we build, we go ahead and create a custom, we map it out so that people understand exactly how their funnel works, exactly which moving parts are which go where and where they're involved in the whole process too. So because one of the things that we really need from our clients is, they're involved in that training or consulting offer. They're involved in delivering and engaging with their clients, and they need to understand what happens before, what happens after, what happens if people take action, what happens if they don't. And so it helps them just visually represent every aspect of the funnel, which is to most people a huge benefit.
Awesome. So since there are so many of these marketing automation suites out there, and you've got this book that you're going to send me with, here's how to do it yourself. No offense, you're just not worth my time because you can't afford me. What tools do you recommend these smaller MSPs get started with? Are you going to say, just start with, MailChimp for your email, or would you say, maybe they should consider, spending $100 a month for more of a all-inclusive thing?
Well, when it comes to, so the nice thing about most of the clients I work with is that they're obviously tech savvy and they understand how to use technology, how to work, how to navigate through these platforms fairly well, or it can at least learn it fairly well. Like if I did it for other verticals, it may not be the case, but I have a CRM recommendation that is, I came from using HubSpot a lot in the past because it's very
expensive.
Very expensive. But there's a platform, it's called EngagePay. It's at the highest level. I think it's 80. Let me pull it up because it's here. I think it's $80 or something like that.
I just opened it up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not expensive, but it's as robust. It's nearly as robust as HubSpot. Let's see. This is a yearly. Yeah, monthly. It's $80. So, it's and that you may not even need the $80 platform. You may be able to get by with $50. But the nice thing is that it gives you the same, a lot of the same opportunities that a platform like HubSpot or Marketo or any of the big, Infusionsoft, any of the big CRMs, the big marketing automation suites do. But it's so much cheaper. So that's a good platform. It lets you string it all together. It lets you assign deal stages to different contacts that are coming in. You can use it for your marketing and your sales, and it's the whole process from start to finish. So that's a good one. And honestly, if you've got stuff that you're using already, you can build out a funnel in basically anything. Like we were just talking about, you can build it out on your WordPress website. You can build it out. You can tie in MailChimp to WordPress, and you can stitch it all together with whatever you're using. It doesn't have to be so pretty and cohesive, but if you're going to take it seriously, making a $50 to $80 investment in a tool set like this, it lets you do a lot. It really lets you automate a lot of your machine, so that once you build it out, as long as you have the right resources and understand how to run the ads and things like that, or if someone in your organization does, then all you have to do is deliver your offer and start the conversation with people.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a good system.
All right, so you've got a lot going on in that funnel that you showed me, and I love everything about it. And yeah, what else? Is there anything else that you think people should hear right now? Are you doing anything specific for the COVID stuff? I don't want to talk about the PPP, okay? Because I think everyone's sick of hearing about the PPP.
I think
so are you guys doing something to help us market our MSP to maybe essential businesses?
Yeah, and that's really the thing, is that if you were not marketing to essential businesses, be marketing to essential businesses. It's not that hard to understand. There are huge numbers of businesses that are still doing very well, that are still happy to pay your services, their monthly bills. They're happy. In a lot of cases, we're seeing accounting firms, lawyers, a lot of professional services businesses, they're doing more business now, if at least as much business as they were before. And they're, we've come up with campaigns around promoting remote work and things like that. But honestly, the ones that are still performing is the best are all the ones that were, the security offers and the productivity offers, things like that. the things that you guys do already, people who are working with you already, they're going to be the ones that are reaching out to get remote support. They're going to be actively searching for IT support. So that's where a bottom of the funnel campaign, bottom of the funnel keywords and things like that are going to apply. But like, if you want to do this type of marketing where you're really reaching a wider audience, you can still do it. Just make sure that you're targeting businesses that are still in business, that are still operating, and that's it. Like, I think a lot of people are really stuck right now. Like, they're afraid to take action because they don't think that people are going to be responsive. I'm here to tell you that they are. Like, I'm watching MSPs grow their business every day. We're in a lot of I think the same Facebook groups. You see these guys posting about their wins. I know that some of the people that I follow, they're prompting people to talk about what they're doing and the business they're signing. And, you still see guys signing tons of deals. Like, they're out there. You guys, it's just a matter of making sure that you're taking the right actions to reach them. And I don't think that it's, obviously you have to update your language a little bit. And if you're approaching a business with a loud and outlandish marketing claim, I think that's going to be a little tone deaf. Like, come from a perspective of support and of helping businesses and making sure that everybody's, getting by and doing as best they can during a time right now. But honestly, like, you can still be closing plenty of business right now. And I know lots of people are.
There are smaller MSPs that maybe they've just been kind of stuck for a while. Maybe they've plateaued, or maybe they've even lost money recently. What would you say to them? Especially like if they keep working on, I like to call it indirect sales, where they'll go and run like I'm going to call it an ad, but it might be an article that they paid to get in, like a Chamber of Commerce or a newspaper or something in between. Or maybe they're stuck working on their website because they think people are just going to magically land on the website. What do you say to those people that are too afraid to get out and try to actively sell things?
That's a really, really good question. And honestly, I think we all have a little bit of that, like, that fear to take action. I think there's a very small percentage of us who are just like go-getters all the time, because even if it's promoting yourself to people who you'll never see again, never hear again, or never actually meet face to face, it's still like you're putting yourself out there. And there's a psychological boundary we have to, or a psychological hurdle we have to overcome. But honestly, perfect is the enemy of good. Don't try to make everything perfect before, get out there and test it and refine your offering, refine your marketing message, refine your performance based on all of the things all the feedback you're getting. And if you don't know how to do that, you can find, I don't want to just throw out like Upwork, because there's a lot of shitty marketers on Upwork too.
There really are, man.
Good help like that on freelance sites. If you go on to Upwork and you find people that have good reviews, and you find people that have, like, they really sound like they know what they're talking about, and other people have vetted them and like put them through the trial and error process, it's worth having an expert run your ads, because they know what they're doing, even if it costs you a little bit more. And even if it's just having them set up your campaigns or something like that, and then you learn how to optimize them, how to manage them, things like that. Because Facebook has great resources. You can go on, Udemy, like all the, there's the information industry has exploded. You can learn anything. And if it comes down to it and you need to run your own Facebook ads, or you need to learn how to do your own marketing, you can do that in not very much time. You can learn how, you can take a course and be better prepared than 95% of marketers on Facebook right now, simply by just following like some really, really fundamental best practices, and not just throwing your ads online and saying, oh, it didn't work, well, I'm not going to do that again. Because that's the kind of mentality that keeps you stuck.
Yes. I would say that I know a lot of guys that are stuck. They're always focused on perfection. I'm always telling them, stop nitpicking every little, phrase and adjective and everything else. It drives me up a wall. But more importantly, what do you tell them when they're afraid to just pick up the phone and call somebody?
Oh, man.
Is that even an effective form of sales anymore? Because I imagine, based on your funnel, it doesn't say just start randomly calling people.
So if you are marketing adverse, if you just cannot get your head around marketing and you feel like sales is the method, because I know a lot of businesses that have built themselves to 7 figures on the backs of one guy doing outbound. There's a lot of those that we started working with that I've come across. And it's basically, there's one guy out there doing outbound sales, hitting chamber meetings, like getting referrals. And I'm impressed by those guys because that takes a shit ton of work. Like, you can't scale sales like you scale marketing. You can't just like up your budget and watch more leads come in. But you have to be out there pounding pavement. You can hire more salespeople. But honestly, if you're going to be a sales guy, understand how to sell. Like, understand the concept behind what we're doing here with marketing and what works in sales is really similar. People don't want to hear that you are the best MSP in your industry or in your service area. They want to hear what benefits they can get. They want some sort of upfront value. They want some sort of understanding. They want you to provide them with a way to show your expertise and how they'll benefit from working from you. So, I
hear that a lot, Nick, and I gotta say, I find it more and more difficult to really help MSPs pass the so what phase of so when helping an MSP develop their unique selling proposition, man, that is wobbly. I find that they'll go to, oh, well, we've got the best prices. So what? Does that mean your service sucks? You're just cheap?
Yeah.
No. We use this tool and that tool. So what? So does every other MSP in town. Well, we're the best because you get to work with me. That's what every other MSP says. You're not sure you're a special snowflake, but that doesn't mean you are better than all the others. So how do we actually get an MSP to come with their unique selling proposition? What is a unique selling proposition besides the definition? Don't screw around with us like that, but you know what I mean. How do we come up with it, man? Because I feel like MSPs are so commoditized these days. I mean, you can go to any MSP and get the same damn thing. We all remote monitor, we all manage, we all upgrade, we all do projects. So why do I go to this guy's MSP? That's exactly why we do what we do. It's because if you can't show people the value of your services, then it's going to be really hard to sell them on it because they have their sales guard up. They're like, so what, like you said. So that's why we started doing things, reaching people earlier on, because unless people know they have a problem and they're actively seeking you out, it's really hard to get through the gatekeeper, get through the door, and get yourself in front of them in a position where they're actually going to listen to you. So in any case, whether you're marketing or selling, you have to have some sort of value that you can provide them. I know people that take what we do, not what we do, but they have a variation of what we do in their sales process, where they're doing risk assessments and some sort of consulting. As it's a consultative sales process. It's not just, hey, I want to be your IT guy. I want to manage your IT services or your IT program for a set fee every month. I want to help you, all of the things that you list on your website, because you're right. Everybody's website is basically offering the same thing. To me, it all comes down to,
either finding people before they have a problem or reaching people who are either actively seeking or should be actively seeking based on the quality of their vendor. So a lot of MSPs that we work with, let's see, how do I put this? They have a really good system of showcasing the higher level of value, even if they're more expensive, of their services versus their competitor services. So like if you are an excellent service provider and you know that you are better than the vast majority of service providers in your area, or you're at least like, top level, then you should be absolutely selling on quality versus price. Because if you're selling on price, then there's always going to be somebody cheaper, and that's all they're going to care about. Nobody's going to look at anything else you do.
But how do we say we're better than all the other guys in the area? How do we actually prove that when we're doing our marketing?
So that's a good point. That's where the face-to-face, boots on the ground, person-to-person communication comes into play, because it all boils down to some really simple fundamentals of marketing and sales. People buy from people. People don't buy from companies. People don't care about the company. People buy from the people that they're interacting with within the company. So if you look at any good Google review, most of that, like for your MSP, for example, most of them will mention the tech or mention the team or mention the person who has helped them. Like so-and-so has been so supportive in implementing Project X or in helping us with this issue. And that's been that's on me. That's the fundamentals. If you have a person-to-person interaction, you're going to have the opportunity to get them to know, like, and trust you. And that goes, it doesn't matter what you sell, how you sell it. If they know, like, and trust you, they are so much more likely to buy from you than if you're just pushing your message, pushing your services on them like everybody else is. So that's why getting your foot in with something like the offers that I mentioned, getting your foot in with some sort of upfront value to let you showcase that expertise is absolutely mission critical. Because if you don't, then you're just like everybody else, and you have just the same chances of everybody else is closing the deal.
Love it. All right, Nick. Well, anything else that you want to go over before we wrap up?
Let's see. I mean, that's the core of it. Like I want guys to know that marketing is because I see so much of it when I'm in Facebook groups and when I see it online. Like, so many people think that marketing is witchcraft or a scam, or that they've thrown a lot of money at it and it hasn't worked for them. So they tell other people it won't work for you either. I want you to know that it can. Like, it's like anything else in your business. If you don't apply a considerable amount of resources and effort towards either learning it or hiring somebody else who knows how to do it, then you're going to get subpar results. It's the name of the game. It's like anything else in your business. You have to put your energy and effort behind it. So for the smaller guys, that's probably going to mean learning how to market your business. For the larger guys, that means probably hiring a dedicated internal marketer or outsourcing help. Like you can find, like we talked about on Upwork, you can find some resources there. Even if you have just one person who their sole role is marketing your business, they can help you organize all of those outsourcers. So they can help find you a developer, a graphic designer, a copywriter. They can help you find a ads manager. They can do some of the stuff for you, and they can take it all off your plate. But like, if you're not putting constant attention to it, then it's like anything else. You're not going to get the return out of it. So I want you guys to know, anybody who's watching, I want them to know that marketing is absolutely can be a game changer for your business. We've helped a lot of companies grow, grow considerably over the last few years. And And that's my message. I just want to, that's why I come on and do things like this, because I want people to believe in themselves and their ability to grow their businesses, because I see a lot of people that get stuck, like we're talking about, and there's no reason that you should be stuck. You can scale marketing to the moon and grow your business once you figure out what works.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nick. I really appreciate you hopping on here today. And please, anytime you want to return, you know how to reach me. Definitely. So I will, I'll see you online on social media. Yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.
Take care, Steve.